Welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you being here, Catherine. Um, all right. So today's live is about how to keep going even when life gets hard. So, what's up, girl? Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're watching this live, then give me a hashtag live. If you're watching this on replay, then give me a hashtag replay. If you find any value, then drop a heart down below. And so I really want to pack as much value into a short amount of time as possible because mindset is the very first pillar to a successful fitness journey. If we don't have the right mindset, then we're going to fail every single time. And this is where, for most people, consistency is lacking, motivation is lacking, is when there's not that day to day working on your mindset. And so I kind of want to talk about the same things that I'm going to be talking about in the Zoom event with Coach TP today, which is like how I was able to start Diamond Nation and Thick Fit Nation. Even while going through a divorce, even while being in a toxic relationship that wasn't serving me, but coming through on the other end of that. Because if you are able to be on a health and fitness journey while you're going through something hard, then nothing will be able to stop you. Nothing will be able to get in your way. You'll have those times where, yes, you'll need to rest, but you will not quit. And there's a big difference between resting and quitting. So that's what I want for you. I want you to have that consistency. I want you to have that motivation, even when things get hard. So one of the things that I really struggled with while being in my last marriage or last relationship was my self-image, was my health journey, because of the fact that I eventually just kind of like let myself go. Maybe you're able to relate to having some type of relationship that doesn't serve you. And, maybe you can relate to kind of usually being that like closed off person that's a little bit meek or humble or like soft spoken. That was definitely me. And my spouse was definitely more dominant personality type. And so I eventually like found myself giving up control for even the little things in life. And one day I woke up and I was like, this isn't right. This doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. And so one day he just didn't want me to get a job. And I was like, this isn't normal. It's not normal for me to want to go to school, for me to want to pursue my passion of being a registered nurse. But not only that, but we needed the money for our bills. So it wasn't even as if I was doing it for selfish purposes or selfish reasons. One of the things that he said to me was that I'd rather be homeless than have you go to work and school. And as someone who has gone through homelessness as a kid, I was triggered. I was triggered by my trauma of not wanting to be homeless ever again. And that was my wake up call. That was my wake up call. And maybe you can relate to having some type of wake up call where you're like, this isn't right. This doesn't make any sense. Like, you just have that feeling where you were just like sleeping, you were going through the motions, you were going through the day to day, living the same day every single day. And then one day something like smacks you in the face and, nothing makes sense anymore. So that's what happened to me. And, as things started to get more and more toxic, the more that I started not to be as soft spoken, the more that I wanted to make decisions for myself, the more there was friction between us, the more, we just did not get along anymore. As long as I was the meek housewife, the stay-at-home mom, everything was fine. Everything was copacetic and ran smoothly. And that's why for so long, things did go well. But as soon as I wanted to become my own person, it was a problem. So I had to wake up and have courage to leave. And many women ask me, like, how did you know, like, whether you should leave or not? And I get this question a lot from women that are married, and they're like wondering what they should do in their particular situation. And I tell them usually that when you are more afraid of staying than you are of leaving, then that's how you know. Because when you have kids with someone, you think about your kids first, and you put your kids first, and you know that you want to raise your kids in a two-parent household. But at the same time, I had to think about that I have to give my kids a mother that is okay. Because the thing that you may not know about me personally is that I had a mother that was so depressed that she went into disassociation, or like a psychosis, where my mom, to this day, my biological mom, she's not attached to reality. Like, she's basically in like her own little world, and she even has her own little words, her own little sayings. She believes that she owns $1 million business, and she doesn't. And so I knew the importance of mental health. I knew the importance of being able to show up as the mother that my kids deserve to have. And so that was more important to me than anything else. And so that's how I had the courage to leave something that was no longer serving me. So this isn't about me. This is about you. Maybe you have a relationship. Maybe you have a job. Maybe you have some situation in your life that is no longer serving you. It's not going to get you to the spot that you want to be in when it comes to your fitness journey, being able to be the best version of yourself. And so that's one of the first steps that it takes, is the courage to know that those relationships are not serving you. Whether, like I said, whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, it doesn't matter. You know what that is. I may not know what that is, but you know what that is. So then the next step for me was becoming okay with who I am in my own skin and my own body, and being able to heal emotional eating, being able to heal my body image and what I look like. Because quite honestly, I had gone to being super shredded and fit at 25 after having 2 kids, to gaining the COVID-19 pounds. And so, like, I was still lifting weight even though I had gained weight. So those pounds came on more so as more muscle, but body fat came along with it too. So that's how I founded Thick Fit, was because I wanted it to be more so about women becoming healthy, about women loving their curves, about women loving their body, more so about, trying to look a particular way that media tells them to. And so the thing is that, when I was going through my divorce, I knew that I needed help and I needed resources. So that's exactly what I did. I literally, once I found out I was codependent, once I found out, like, this is the situation that I'm in, then I knew that I had to go out and fix it, and I couldn't do it alone. So I literally hired a therapist. Wasn't the best therapist, by the way. I got rid of her and replaced her with who I have now, my mental health coach. My mental health coach, Neha, that's in the Thick Fit fitness group and does the mental health workshops. But I hired a therapist at the time. I got a fitness coach. I literally surrounded myself with people that I knew would help me be able to get from point A to point B, which point B being the person that I knew that I wanted to be and could be. And so the first step to mindset and becoming the person that you want to be, being on your fitness journey, is gaining the support and the community that you need in order to be successful. That is super, super, super important. And then the next thing that I did was I used my circumstances as a way to propel myself forward. Oftentimes when we're going through something hard, then it's either going to be our excuse of why we revert or stay in a bad situation, or it's going to be the reason why we push ourselves forward. So anytime that I go through something hard, I use it as a reason to propel myself forward. So whether it's a job that you don't like, whether it is a relationship that's not serving you, whether it's someone that's passing away, maybe it's sickness. I don't know what it is for you, the obstacle, the trial that you're going through or will go through, because we're either in a storm, we're getting out of a storm, or we're getting ready to go through a storm, because life is just always happening that way. So I don't know what that will be for you in the future, but the key is to use that as your reason to get out, the reason to become the better version of you. And I'm not saying that it's going to be easy, because it's not at all. There's so many times where I cried by myself in my car. It was just being God. That was it. Crying myself, to sleep at times. But the thing is that once you get through that hard thing, you show yourself that you're able to continue to show up regardless of what's going on around you. And you start working, once you start working towards your peace, then you start being able to protect your peace at all costs. And, there's this saying that goes, I will set boundaries, or I will speak up for myself, even if my voice shakes, meaning that you're going to do whatever it takes, even if it's hard to say it, even if it's hard to do it, to protect your peace at all costs. And so I want that to be something that sticks with you, that you will speak up even if your voice shakes. And so when it came to my fitness journey, the fitness coach that I had at the time was fed up with me, but because I didn't show up like I could have. I showed up to the best of my ability, but I didn't show up in the way that it's hard to describe, because I was going through so much with the divorce, with working as a nurse, COVID nurse at the time, and having 2 kids, having 3 dogs, and starting to build my own fitness coaching business. There was literally only so much that I could do. But I showed up to the best of my ability according to the circumstances that I had. And so, it's super important to be able to assess where you are and assess what you can give, because as long as you're giving your best and, not half assing it, then excuse my language, then that's what's most important, because only you know what your best is, only you know what your circumstances are. And so your best, when you're going through something hard, is going to look a lot different than when, things are fine. So that's another thing to keep in mind, is that just know what you can give. And so, that's perfectly okay. It's okay to scale back, and it's okay to give yourself grace when needed. So that's another thing that's important. But then it's also super important to know that when you have more to give, that you go full force and you go all in according to that as well. So I'm a big believer in that there's never a bad time, there's never a wrong time to get started on your fitness journey, because you can always scale back. If it's time that's, an issue, then give less time. Do 15 minutes, do 20 minutes. If it's, ability, then lift less weight. Maybe you're someone that goes through chronic illness, and, you're not able to get out of bed every day, but getting out of the bed the days that you can, that's you showing up as your best. And then, maybe it's finances. Well, there's ways that when we prioritize our health, and I don't mean this and investing in a coach, maybe that looks like getting a gym membership, or maybe that looks like buying home equipment and just getting some dumbbells from Target, for instance. Investing can look like a lot of different things, or even buying the groceries that you need that are going to be healthier for you. Then that means that maybe you eat less takeout and save money that way. Maybe you do a garage sale, on Facebook Marketplace or eBay. There's ways that we can get resourceful if we want to invest in our health. And so at the end of the day, it takes getting the right support, giving yourself grace when needed, also going all in and showing up for yourself when it is possible, and knowing that any bad situation that comes your way, you can use that as a way to propel yourself forward. Because even divorce, for instance, is not the end. If you don't let it be, it could actually be the beginning. So this is 16 minutes in, so I don't want it to get too long, but I want you to know that at the end of the day, it's faith, consistency, and hard work that's going to get you to your goals. And if you didn't watch my last live that I did yesterday, I believe I tagged most of you guys. It was about setting a morning routine and a nighttime routine in order to make sure that you're working on your mindset each and every day, because that's super important. Mental health hygiene is important to your physical journey, because of the fact that if we don't have mental health hygiene, then when times do get hard, we're going to revert to those negative thoughts. And the only way to clean out those negative thoughts is by putting new positive ones in each day, whether that's podcasts, YouTube, a book, and making sure that social media and your phone is not the first thing that you do when you wake up. Make sense? And before you go to bed, evaluate what went well today that I can do again tomorrow, what didn't go well that I don't want to do and repeat again, so that you're not living the same day over and over and over and over again, because that's not truly living. That's you just living out a program and not making actually your own concerted individual thoughts and decisions. So I hope this helps. I hope you got value from this, because you can do hard things even when life is hard. It just takes support, grace, going all in, investing in yourself, and having the right routine in order to replace any negative thoughts each and every single day. All right, it's Coach Indy from IndyMichelle.com signing out, and I hope you have a great evening. Give me a hashtag replay if you watch this on replay, and a heart if you got something of value, and let me know your biggest takeaway. I will see you guys next time. Bye.